Hello and welcome back almost. I mean, there is no back, but hello and welcome, Gabriela Fagundes.
Hello, Julia Neumann. Yeah, there is no back.
There is
Because
no
the woman who spoke in this podcast, I think 1 year ago, is flushing the toilet of Gaia.
flushed in the toilet of Gaia. What happened?
I remember the last and first time I talked here was in when I was in Portugal last year, and it was something about becoming woman. It was when I did a 1 week journey of healing process about being woman. And since then a lot changed. So it's the sensation of the way I am right now. It's not the same, and will not be even tomorrow. But I think when put in the time frame of time, compared to there, it's yeah, it's different. And I prefer to go into than speak necessarily about what changed, so you can see the change by yourself.
Yes, I mean, I'm glad you said yes to speaking with me about basically mainly about the Women of Earth lab that happened in New Zealand recently,
Yes.
some time recently. And yeah, I want to hear and I want to make accessible some of the gold that you found so that other women know this exists and so that other women can also find their way to these extraordinary transformatory trainings.
Mm-hmm.
What is the taste in your body of the time with these women, 5 days of training?
Mm. What is the taste in my body? This When I tune into this spaceship of transformation that we went together. Right now, what the first thing that came is soil, is the taste of soil. Um, I I don't know if you ever taste earth, like literally, but it's I did once when I was, I think, 12, around 12. I used to like to scroll on the soil and to see the ants walking and making the trail in the soil, and I tasted. And this taste somehow, uh, it was kind of bitter and weird, like sandy and rocky and like, yeah, rocky. And for me, in my experience, this lab, it was a kind of this earth taste. um I Right in the beginning of the lab, I was really with that sensation of living, of wanting to leave this space. And the things that most scared me there, it was really surprise to my mind. And it was the qualities of fierceness, joy, gentle, tender, elegance, beauty, connection, Gaia, energy. This this openness and the touch, the physical touch, mm, the intuition, and these qualities was really scaring me right in the beginning. The first 2 sessions, when there was no structure and no, like the main space holder Anna, she was holding space and nothing space. There was no input. The creation, it was totally empty space for creation to happen. And in that point, one of the things my grumbling was, why did I pay for that? Like, there's nothing coming out. It's a chaos. It's messy. It's everything coming from all the sides, and and it's there is no order here. And right in the beginning, my ground started to be pulled out of me. Um, so this sensation is still with me since then, of not having ground to know how it goes. And Yeah, and this discovery put me in confrontation with my commitment to be a man better than a man. Like to this commitment with healing this everything energy in myself since I was really young. And in my particular personal story, it was a lot about my brother. I grew up with a boy man close to me, and it was a lot of competition and harshness that I decided to put my radiance down in order to give it space to compete to try to be better than him. And yeah, and since the different process that emerged from this chaos, it is like that a crack in that harshness open in myself, and I'm liquid. I'm feeling sad of how I was missing um that space in my physical body, in my breath, space to breathe fully and exhale fully, and place to rest and to ask for help and to ask some woman to be my voice. It was a process, a big process that was speaking to the men, letting Gaia speak, healing Gaia, speaking through us. And there was a point that I lost my voice. And there was this stuff keep coming, pictures and things to be speaking through me. And in my patriarchal survival strategy, I was, I will keep going, I will do it, I will keep screaming and shouting because this has to be delivered and has to come through. And there's a point that this through this crack, I was like, no, I don't need to do that. And then it just come like a movement of a bird. I came just laying down, and Millicent was just with the arms already open, as she already know what was happening. And I lay down with her, and then I was like sourcing the informations and passing to her, and then she was transmitting to them. She was like a roar of a dragon, and then we went like that for I don't know how much time, and then she connected the pictures that was coming through me with what was coming through her, and we were becoming one into letting guys speaking through us because there was no separation there. And this one of the goats that it's taking space in the new shape in myself has been this no this interconnection that I am with you and with each woman and each living being, not just human species, but each living being on earth. And this is new for me. This presence should be with that connection, with that slowness. Most of the last days for me has been to give it time to be in that slowness of presence.
Sounds, in a way, it sounds radical, like slowness of presence and radically really leaning into sisterhood or into this connectedness with everything. Yeah, it touches me to hear that, and I also feel my fear of that, like how it's almost like this new territory. It's territory that maybe is new and maybe it's not so new. It's also ancient in a way that I think it's archetypal in woman to be connected, to know of this connection, to know of the speed of Gaia. And yeah, I guess the question is like, how did you get there? How did you manage to shift, or how did that happen?
Yeah, the answer for how I've been experimenting that is always yes. And in this lab for me was this, because the how it was a yes for each trying. And this is what I'm carrying with me from this, that there's no ecstatic definition for what woman is, for what this that want to come through me looks like. So before there was in a point, a key for me there was the men would come, and there was a decision for us to meet with them or not that day. And we were researching what happened in us with the possibility of meeting the men to this initiatory process in the night, the evening. And then I was using a t-shirt that was kind of, it was quite opening in my chest and my breast, and I was not noticing that while being with women. Then one of the women asked me, did you notice that your breasts get quite shown? And what do you feel about the men coming at night and you being with that t-shirt? And then at that point, I started to consider, like, would I change it? Would I change it, that t-shirt, because the men are the possibility of the men coming? And then one of the things we discovered in the group is how we have our compass, even to dressing ourselves into how we would look like. Or I would not use a dress because the men are coming. Or another woman was, I would dress because the men are coming. So even the choice of not using or using, it was coming from the outside. And what the goal or the gift for me in this lab was to experience the wildness, like the diversity of this everything. And then there's nothing to fit in. There's no how to squeeze me into the shape to present to someone. And this is an experiential, it was an experiential reality, because I had heard a woman is the representation of everything. I had heard that before in book and heard from some trainers, but the experience of this woman being everything and me having the call through to be everything there, it took out all the labels that I got from what woman is, or for what woman can be. Because even in possibility management in the past, I had like, okay, woman, archon woman look like fierce and clear, has a sword of clarity, and speaks what she wants, and is present and grounded, and it's like the concepts that come with it. But in this lab, when I saw the woman laughing their ass off, and it was like, what is that possible? And then I saw another woman being really asshole and calling the bin through of another one. And then I said, there's a woman being really gentle and at the same time clear and so sharp. And another one being a dragon and like really this diversity of colors. It took the ground out that I was sticking on of yeah, something to be. What's coming the picture now is argilla. What is the name? The thing you use to clay. Like is that I am the clay, and there's these different shapes, and I put water, and it becomes these different shapes that I can take. And then at the end of the letter was like, oh, well, boring to really want to stick into one definition, because then I was like, okay, now is the slowness time, so I will be slow. But not even that. It's really it opened up this possibility of the everything, and that everything is here in me, in you. It's here. And it was such a lie. And I'm another piece of my liquidity right now, this lie that I believed that I had something to reach out, to take out, to grab it, to 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 achieve, to accomplish, to be rewarded for. And the break of this lie was at a point when I was in a healing space with the woman, and we were healing together. And the healing of the woman were in the becoming of the another woman in front of my eyes. So it was a space where we were creating the healing right there by being with and creating and not going from anything that we knew, that I knew. I was really like creating the next step and the next step. And this woman was becoming. She was becoming right there in front of my eyes. Her face was changing, her voice was coming more open, her chest was relaxing. She was, I could feel her energetic body coming and entering her meat. And that point I was like, wow, I'm here with her. And there's nothing to be achieved. It's here. It's this creation happening. And I think the authority of us women to authorize ourselves to be that fierceness, unpredictability of everything is something that in our heart we are deeply longing for. And no one can give this authorization for us to be everything. And there is such spaces as this laboratorium that is a cocoon or a platform that nourish this space where this kind of authorization that you can give to yourself be possible. So I would say that I authorized myself in this lab to be everything again.
I feel glad about that. And yeah, I'm touched by the ripples that I feel through you, through meeting other women that were in the lab, of this fierce love and also this gentleness. Somehow there's a new layer of gentleness and lightness, or something that I can sense in the sisterhood aspect of it. That something shifts when women really stand together and come together and are so radically by each other's side.
Yes. And this seed, I see it being carried on from out of a training space into real life. This is something that I care about, how that an space moves from a training space into practical real life, the daily life. And one of the ripples that I see, that I was going to the land where you, Millicent, and Annika are now, and I was with Teresa and we were talking together. And she was sharing about her journey with Sunny to hold space for this possibility team, that they would hold each one alone, separately. And the ripple of the lab is that why would you separate if we can create together this space? And this kind of collaborations in the daily life that emerges from the possibility of asking, of becoming creator again, is what I'm really sparked about. Or during these days I've been alone and I was appreciating of being alone. And then on Saturday I was like, oh, I want to be with women. I want to do something together, maybe cooking or just be together. And in the past, I think I would try to call someone or to do something to not have this loneliness that was mainly joy of wanting to be with women. And in that point, I called Ellen and Millicent was coming to next day to work, and I said, "Oh, do you want to watch a movie with me or cook something, a tomato soup?" I said yes. As we had this moment together. So yeah, I'm glad to notice and to craft pathways to bring that transformation into appliance of daily life in simple ways. Or when I was talking with Rita and she was discovering how to be with Bowie when he is trying
That's her
to
son, just for people that don't know
yeah
that. Yeah.
yes yes Rita is one of the women that I'm on her team, and we had a call 2 days after, and her son, she was having something a situation with her son, and she did not know how to go with it, and we were exploring how what other possibilities to go with her son, the low drama, the confrontation of no, I don't want to do that. And so this is important for me of carrying on.
Thank you for carrying on. I get that is really the key aspect, is to, yes, harvest the transformation, go through the transformation, and then infusing or becoming that space, or letting that space keep coming through you that you've made in yourself. And that is, yeah, I'm sad about that, because that is how I see women changing the world, is by changing here and then being a new shape, and through this connectedness to everything, the world cannot not change around a woman. Yeah.
Yes. And one more piece that is coming is about this colonization of the physical body and the colonization of our bodies in general. Um, this this became clear for me on the lab when we were researching of how we learn to constrain our movements or our way of moving our body or connect with our physical body, but also with our mind, our intellectual body, in a way of colonizing with ideas and concepts from outside, from beginning with the family, but also from the circles that we are, or with the movies or things like that. And the colonization is from this part of domination, of controlling, of I control you, and I want you to be in this way. So my body wants rest, but my mind wants to produce. And then I learned that rest is a way of avoiding responsibility. So I will not, I will keep going and keep going. And then unto a point that my body gets sick or will, or is like stop and really scream for. And then I will really avoid responsibility because I can do nothing. Now I need to stop. And this is like the way we I'm yeah, I'm get to find the words because it's something that I'm researching for myself. I I did not put the words so much yet, but something of in relationship to energy and creation. So I discovered that I have a really short gap between the energy that flows through me and the action. So I have the energy and I want to act right after into doing something. This doing energy, this survival of wanting to be a man better than the man, and this action energy. And 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 then I don't stay present in my physical body, and I don't become like a cell of energy where the energy come and flow through and then can come out. I either contain it to me, this is scarcity, it's mine, or I go into getting out because it's uncomfortable, the amount of energy. So it came out to me about researching this tension of creation. And we women, we hold this tension of creation all time in us. From the cycle, the woman's the womb cycle, also as we have the seed of life in us. So the way of that I'm discovering after the lab of decolonizing my bodies, my physical body, my mental body, my energetic body, my body for creation, has been to create nothing, has been to use my sword of clarity and my radiance to open this space of tension and learning to be with this tension of what is now happening in the world, in the reality, what I discovered that is happening in Gaia right now, and where I am also in my journey, and the tension of the potential of what is possible, of what my seed comes to bring into earth, and what I see that your seed brings into earth, and what I see that is possible to create with young people. And then there's this magnetic between this where I am and this where I want to go. And when I can decolonize the space in between of these two forces, I can decolonize and take my authority to hold that and be with the discomfort, the chaos. This is the chaos that I was sharing. That was freaking out the lab. I want to get out of it. The impatience that I have. And I tell Star, it's because I am a young woman. Come on, let me be patient. But no, it's really this wanting to get rid of this uncomfortability of being alive. So my X on the map now about that is being really to discover the ways I've been colonizing this space of creation with these patriarchal concepts and ideas, and to stretch my capacity of being in this tension. And then it can be so tricky because tension can be connected with pressure. When I heard that in the intimacy cafe, I think Anna told me tension of creation. It's like, okay, but I already have pressure, this pressure thing. I don't want to hear about that. I was like, wow, it's so fast that I connect tension with pressure. But if I was noticing the nature today, everything happens with this tension of creation. My muscles, my heart is bumping because of this tension of contraction and relaxation. The water comes from the ground to the up of trees because of this tension of difference of pressure. The air, the hot air with the cold air, it flows because of this difference also of pressure. So if notice in nature, this is everywhere, this difference, this tension of creation. And the difference in me that I notice is that I put things in between. And then I become a repeater, a copier, a reaction. I create from the reaction of what it's coming outside. I don't create from this everything. That I share that I was longing for to plug in again in that source.
Mm. Thank you, Gabriela. Glad for this piece of the tension versus pressure and colonizing the space.
Yeah, thank you for holding that nothing space to put words on it, because I asked how to put words on it, and this is something that I'm discovering, how to put words, how to transform energy into words, experience into words. And then sometimes I get into this swamp or pissed off with, come on, is everything bullshit? Why I would spend time with using my voice or writing or creating videos or creating more words in the word if it's stories, if it's bullshit? Why I would do that? And then I was texting yesterday to in the village, and it came this poem that James shared with me, James Andrews, of the "This is not a bath." And he says that sentence that is percolating in me yet of, well, yes, it's everything bullshit, but saying that is bullshit doesn't mean that doesn't matter, because the words build the world that you are in. And if you matter, if the world that you live in means your culture or the place you're around or the people you relate with, and the physical world also, if this matters to you, then the words matters to you. And then this, it's activating me again, the wanting or the joy of creating through words. And I think woman has this potential of unleashing your voice, because this is the way you can create magic in that earth where you decided to come to, is through the language and the words that can let the song of your heart and your being to come through, to create, to manage energy, to destroy energy, to create energy, to create spaces, to create stories, to create movies, songs, poetry, books, videos, trainings, and things that we did not create it yet, that I don't have the words yet to. Yeah.
Yes, so we need better bullshit. Women can create it out of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a good question. What does it make better bullshit? The bullshit that can empower more the soil to be fertilized and enrich it. Mm.
Yeah. Yes, I say yes to that. Thank you, Gabriela. Thank you for your words.